All right, I'm going to tell you a little story about how sending off quotes every day or every week and doing as many quotes as possible can literally fuck you up. It can literally diminish the returns that you're meant to be getting. You can actually quote the complete opposite way. I turned my business around when I understood that it wasn't about the output, it was about the quality of the output. So what I'm getting at is you can send off as many fucking quotes as possible. Like you can send off as many quotes to builders or to private clients or to whoever. You can treat it as a numbers game and you can think that that's going to get you the best returns when in reality it does fuck all. In reality you're just doing another task. You're not actually doing the thing that's important. You're not actually following a system. You're not actually following any processes. And you're not actually understanding your clients on a really deep level. So there was a time in my business where I was doing this. So I was just like on repeat, sending off quotes every day. And I was like, cool, I'm going to send this quote off. Bang, that's ticked off the list. So where's the next quote? I'm going to send this quote off. Bam, tick that off the list. And I fell into this trap of playing the numbers game, right? I fell into the trap of if I send off X amount of quotes today or this week, I'm going to get X amount of return in revenue or in sales. And that was the wrong way to look at it, because what I found is that I was still not winning quotes. I was still not getting the jobs that I wanted for the price that I wanted to get them for. And I feel like everyone has to go through this, right? Like everyone has to go through a point in time in their business where they're doing all these things and they're putting all this energy into this stuff, but it doesn't actually give you fuck all return. And a light bulb will either go off in your head or it won't. And a light bulb went off in my head for me, and I thought, why isn't this working? Like, why am I spending all this time and energy into quoting for all these people that say they want my service, say they want my product, but then when I send it to them, they don't want a bar of it, or they ghost me, or they've gone with someone cheaper, or whatever it may be. Like, you've heard it all before. Like, if you're listening to this right now, you're probably a tradie, or you're probably someone that owns a business or in a service-based business or whatever. And you want to understand how you can increase your sales, you can operate on a high level as, you know, as a trades business owner or a business owner or a director or whatever it may be. And I feel like by the end of this video, you're going to be able to have complete clarity on the mindset that it takes to be able to quote on a high level compared to, you know, the stage that you might be at now. So I'm going to just run through this from a perspective of, you know, a business owner where I was at maybe like 2-3 years ago, when I was like constantly quoting, and I was probably having the same issues that you guys are having right now today. And I was probably making the same mistakes that you guys are making today, but it was costing me. You guys have a chance right now to take this information in and really apply it to your business today. And if you do that, you're not going to waste as much money as you would if you applied this in the next 3 months or 6 months or 12 months or whatever. So it's up to you. You can do whatever you like. You can take notes. You don't have to take notes. But at the end of the day, I'm sure you're going to take some massive value from this video. So let's wind the clock back a bit, and we'll talk about how some of the mistakes that I used to make as a salesman or a tradie that was selling a service. And then we're going to talk about the things that I do now differently to operate on a higher level. Okay, so when I was quoting back, a few years ago, I thought that answering the phone and just getting down basic information and booking on the site visit was like super important. And that was like gonna get me to that quote, and it was gonna get me the job. But what I didn't understand is that I needed to extract the information, and I needed to extract the right information. So what I feel like a lot of people fail to do is they fail to extract a lot of information, and they fail to extract a lot of the right information in a very deep level. And what I mean by this is asking the client or the prospect like really key questions that are going to understand your client a lot more, questions that are going to understand, their budget, have they spoken to anyone else, what their pain points are, like why are they actually reaching out to you specifically, why aren't they reaching out to someone else, or if they have reached out to someone else, what happened with them. There's so much insights you can gain by just asking questions and not being a fucking scared little bitch. Like, some people, when I tell them that, like, you can ask someone, like, how much the other company quoted for, they think, like, fuck, like, I can ask that? It's like, yeah, you can ask whatever you like. Like, they're either going to tell you or they're not. They're either going to tell you the price or they're not going to tell you. And they're not going to feel comfortable telling you. But if you ask the question, like, just for example, let's say you say, how many quotes have you got? And then they might open up. You can continue to open them up a little bit more. You can just prod on it a little bit more and say, oh, how did that go? How did you find their quoting process? And then what you might find is that if you prod and ask the right questions, people will just open up to you. Like, people who love talking, people who love giving out their information, they just will. They'll just literally spill the beans, and they'll just tell you, like, oh, actually, this guy quoted like 30,000 for that. And there you go. You've got like a key piece of information that you wouldn't have had if you just asked the question and you weren't scared to ask it. You're extracting information, and you're extracting it at a really, really high level by asking simple questions and letting the conversation flow and building that trust and building that rapport. Like, one thing that I find works really well is just like having the most authentic conversation with your clients, like, or your leads or whatever. Just asking them, you don't have to ask them salesy questions. You don't have to ask them, all these like intense questions. You can just have a convo with them, and then you can pop the questions there on the way. And you'll find that the conversations will flow, and you'll also gain that information naturally. And you're building that rapport as you go. It's what a lot of operators don't do now. I feel like, and when I say operators, I'm talking about just like anyone that's like in a business or a trades business that's trying to operate, and trying to make a sale. They look at it from a perspective of like, it has to be like this real structured, like intense, like almost like scripted thing where if they don't do it, it's not gonna work. Where it's like completely the other way around. Like, if you're just authentic and you connect with someone on a normal level, they're gonna feel that. First of all, they're gonna understand that. There's no like need there for you. There's no like, want for the sale. There's no want for the outcome. And when you give off that energy, people open up more. They're easy to talk to. And they'll like you as well. So that's the mistake that I used to make. I used to make the mistake of just trying to stick to the structured fucking bullshit script where it was like, okay, I'm going to ask them this question, and then they're going to give me a response, and then I'm going to ask them this question, and then they're going to give me this response, and I'm going to have this answer to this question. When you jump on calls like that, I don't know if you guys have done it before, but like, it's the fucking hardest way to have a conversation. It's literally the shittest way to have a conversation. And you don't think for yourself. You're not thinking for yourself at all. And you don't learn anything. You don't learn how to be a salesman. And I don't like to call myself a salesman at all. I like to call myself a value provider. That's what I call myself. Because at the end of the day, you want to give the most value to that person and show that you have the most value. They're gonna want to go with you. So yeah, basically what I'm getting at is you have to just be an authentic person and extract the right information. Now, the information extraction is a key step in my winning quote system. This is like the quote system that I use, that I've used for the last probably 3 or 4 years, and some of my clients use now. But this is one step in the mechanism, and it's a very, very important step. It's one of the first steps. It's probably like the third thing that you need to do when a client reaches out to you. So you're going to extract really key information so you can also qualify them. One thing that I never used to do, one mistake that I used to make, was I would never qualify the prospect. I would always just assume that they were good to go. I would just assume that they wanted the service and they were going to pay for it. And that was like that was such a costly mistake, not just on money, but on time, because I was booking in people who weren't qualified, and I was wasting hours and hours and hours on end looking at their jobs, going over the quotes, going over the plans, putting all this time and energy and effort into making the coolest fucking proposals and blah, 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 you name it. And going out there and talking to them and spending time looking at the place, and then spending time after talking to the clients just to find out that they weren't even fucking qualified. They weren't the right client for me. A lot of the time people will tell you that this is a typical tradie perspective. And it's a typical like mindset that tradies have that I can't stand, right? It's like, it's always about the price. It's always about the price. Well, it's got fuck all to do with the price, because you're just speaking to the wrong person. You're just sending the wrong messages to the wrong person. If you send the right messages to the right people, they will be aligned with what your service is and your price. Just think about that. It doesn't have anything to do with it. It's all to do with how you position yourself, how they see you, and the messaging that you give them. And that goes with anything. That goes with like most businesses, right? So you've got to drop that perspective of like, oh, you know, fucking everyone just is going to be asking for the cheapest price, and I'm going to have to negotiate this, and I'm going to have to discount. Third mistake, discounting. Discounting when you're negotiating with a client, right? It's another thing I used to make. So another mistake I used to make. So you're going through the process, you've sent the quote out, and then bam, you get that message, and it's like, hey, can you drop the quote for like $2,000? Or hey, can you make the quote 10% cheaper? And then your first thought in your head is like, sure, bam, I've got the job now, I've just got to drop this. Okay, great. But in reality, you're dropping your standards to work for someone who didn't align for you in the first place. And then you're also working for someone who doesn't value your service. They don't value it at all. They're not looking for your service. They just want the cheapest possible. And then that rolls on to how the job is going to play out. Are they going to give you issues? Are they going to cause you stress? Are you going to lose money on that job? Now you can see the snowball effect that this creates when you just have the client that's not qualified for you. You can see what happens here. It's not just the job, it's not just the sale you have to worry about. Now it's everything else that snowballs on after that. Are they going to leave a bad Google review? Your 5-star review's gone now, bro. Like, it's just a fucking continuous effect of shit. And it's all because you're not preparing properly for these jobs. You're not extracting the right information. And you're not speaking to these people on a deeper level. You're not understanding them on a deeper level. You want to be talking to the people who want to be talking to you. And you want to be aligning with the people who want your service. Because that is what's going to create a really good job, profitable, it's going to be profitable. And then you're also going to build that reputation off the back end of that. You're going to get that good Google review. You're going to get them talking to other people about you and your service. They're going to be spreading the word in the community. And that's how you build that reputation and grow. And that's how you continue to win more jobs at the price you want to win them for. So, we've gone through a bit of the extraction. We've gone through about, the qualifying and the questions. You're not... The mistakes that you make when you're asking basic questions instead of like really in-depth questions. And then also another mistake I used to make was I never used to understand their personality, understand what type of person that I was actually talking to properly. Like when I say properly or deeply, I mean like really know who they are and what they actually want, their pain points, what they actually want from you. Are they going to be someone who's going to negotiate? Are they going to be someone who's going to are they going to be easy to work with? Are they going to be easygoing? Are they going to help you with the job? Or are they going to be someone who's going to be a pain in the fucking ass from day one until you finish the job? And there's red flags, there's green flags, but this is all about working it out for yourself, and you will get better and better at this as you continue to gain confidence. But there's an easy way to do this, and there's a way to do it quickly, and there's a way to like literally have a process and have a system where something you can follow that's going to be solid, that's going to be fucking bulletproof. So you don't have to make those costly mistakes that I used to make. I'm telling you guys this now so you don't have to waste the money. You can fucking get onto it and you can follow something really thorough. Because right now you might be thinking, I'm good at this thing, but I'm not good at this thing. And I'm good at that thing, but I don't know that thing. The system that I'm explaining to you, or the mechanism of the system that I explain to you, is really easy to follow. And once you follow all these mechanisms in a row, that's when you fucking kill it. And that's when you understand how to operate on a higher level. And once you do this consistently, you're disciplined, you are unfucking stoppable. You will have clients literally email you every day, and the emails will be along the lines of, hey, we're ready to go ahead. Hey, thanks for reaching out to us. We're going to go ahead with you. Hey, we've accepted this proposal. Hey, we've accepted this job. And when you get those types of emails, you move at a different fucking level. Your energy, your frequency is so fucking high. You double down on that process. You double down on that fucking system that you've got. And that's when you increase your sales. That's when you can build your team. That's when you can foresee your business in the future. You can scale it and you can grow it and you can buy the equipment that you want. Because at the end of the day, the sales part of the business is so important. It's like the common denominator. It's like if you're shit at sales and you don't get those sales over the line, your business is dying. You can't see the pipeline. You can't plan for the growth. You can't plan for the work. The feeling of not being able to plan ahead and have work in the pipeline is one of the worst feelings a trader can have. And you're constantly on this edge and this battle of like, I need to get the next quote, I need to get the next quote. And when you're in that energy, the people can feel it that you're talking to, and they know you just want the quote. They know you just want the job accepted. And it's harder and harder and harder for you to gain momentum. So taking a step back, putting the right things in place like this system is going to move you forward and put you in the right position so that you can fucking kill it. You can win. So guys, if this is something that's spoken directly to you and you feel like you need a system like this in your business right now, just shoot me a WhatsApp. There's a link below, or Instagram, whatever you want to do. I'll actually audit your quoting process and I'll audit your quotes. And you can either take that away as value and move on and continue, or you can jump into the winning quote system, the quoting system that I use with all my clients, and you can fucking kill it. Simple as that.